This is an audiobook presentation of Cybersecurity for Everyone, Securing Your Home or Small Business Network. Written by Terrence L. Sadler, narrated by the author. Chapter 1. Home User Computer Security Overview. Why another book on computer security? I started using the internet around 1993 without the benefit of a web browser. At that time, the internet was a pretty safe place to visit. As with many things, when there is a social community of users from different backgrounds, you'll find a wide array of behaviors, ranging from good to very bad and downright perverted. The passing of time and new technologies has resulted in massive changes to our experience, and the internet has become a global community. As with all communities, there are some subcultures who feed like piranha on others. There are a lot of online resources available to help anyone interested in being safe on the internet. But they're not comprehensive, nor are they all in one place. My goal in writing this book is for anyone, regardless of technical background, to be able to look up a specific topic and implement the presented ideas to make their online experience safer. I also hope everyone will exercise the principle of reciprocity by passing on the knowledge they gain and help someone else reap the benefits of their experience. The book is written to allow you to take it as a whole, or pick and choose what works best for your situation and knowledge level. There are topics on specific operating systems, open source projects that are free for anyone to use, and best practices taken from my experience over 30 years working with technology, security, and risk management. I didn't learn everything at once, and many of the concepts presented reflect my roots as a cryptologist in the best Navy in the world and as a security specialist for the best Army in the world. Common sense approach to security. Using the computer shouldn't be so complicated. It takes a degree in computer science to know what steps you can take to stay relatively safe. I say relatively safe because safe is an ideal or standard we like to believe exists. Unfortunately, the internet is not as safe as we would like it to be, even though you may never experience a negative consequence as a result of using the internet. When I was young and growing up in a small country community in Louisiana, no one locked their doors, even when going into town for the day. No one worried about their home being vandalized or belongings being stolen. Today, in this same community, many people would not dream of leaving their doors unlocked when they go into town. The only thing that's really changed is our culture and the paradigm through which we relate to our environment. In reality, we were no safer when I was growing up than we would be today if the person who wanted to vandalize our home or steal from us had been determined to do us harm. Our goal with computer security is to put up a few roadblocks, lock a few doors, set a few alarms, and hope we don't have a determined attacker purposely going after us. Through it all, we may even find a few good tools you can use to enhance your security even if we are not able to shoot back. Let me illustrate with an analogy from the early days of the AIDS pandemic. If you wanted to keep yourself safe from contracting AIDS, you practiced abstinence or monogamy and hoped your partner was also monogamous. The same is true about using your computer. If you want to keep yourself safe from the dangers of the internet, you need to cut the umbilical cord and stay off the internet. You should never install software or programs from untrusted sources and should consider storing your computer where no one else can access it without your permission. That's the only way to keep your computer safe from today's threats, which use the internet as their primary vector to launch attacks against unsuspecting victims. If you want to use the internet, then you must accept a certain level of risk and understand there may be consequences. Just like the analogy of AIDS, you might choose to use a condom, but while it will only provide a certain degree of protection, which is not guaranteed, there may be consequences if the condom fails. Your computer use habits will impact how safe your computing experience will be. We're going to look at habits and make an assessment of how risky each can be. If the habits we discuss present a good picture of your computer use habits, then you'll have a better idea of your level of risk and what you can do to change your habits. In just about every city around the world, there are neighborhoods or locales where it's not real safe to venture out alone. The same can be said about the internet. There are many websites purposely set up to trick users into believing they are legitimate or are in fact websites that have been compromised by attackers who will take advantage of any system vulnerabilities and weak security on your PC. How can you tell the difference between a legitimate website and a fake website? It may not be that simple. Cyber criminals go to great lengths to make their website seem legitimate. How can you tell if a website you're visiting has been compromised and is trying to circumvent your security settings? We'll try to answer these and other questions in the following chapters. Sources for software. When you have access to the internet, you have access to a lot of software to be more productive with your computer. Some of the best software available today is free, but you need to be cautious when getting free software. I really recommend you check out software that uses one of the Open Source Initiative or Free Software Federation licenses as an option, and stay away from software that does not allow its source code to be examined by others. There are also a lot of software programs peddled on the internet that do nothing or almost nothing. These may be designed to do things with or to your computer you don't want happening, such as keeping track of everything you type, keyloggers, installing rootkits, delivering malware, joining your computer to a botnet, or allowing a remote attacker to take control of your computer for any number of reasons. How do you know good software from bad? Well, it can be challenging, but the best way to ensure you're getting good software is to read reviews. See how it is distributed and updated. See if there's a large community of users who help support the software through forums, etc. Stay away from Juarez websites that allow you to download cracked copies of pirated software. Yes, commercial software is expensive. Yes, it's tempting to download copies of commercial software when it's so easy to do. We can even talk ourselves into trying the software first before we spend money on it. Downloading pirated software is illegal, and it could land you in jail. Cyber criminals also like to distribute various types of malware by hiding it in pirated software or in Trojans using a dropper program. When you install pirated software or a Trojan that includes malware, it is installed without your knowledge using a dropper program. This is very risky because the program is installed with privileged access, since most operating systems require you to use administrator privileges to install software. Once you've authorized the installation, you'll wind up with any number of different types of malware you will likely have a hard time getting rid of. A dropper program installs malware without your knowledge on your computer when you are installing another program. Hackers and cyber criminals are known to use pirated software to spread their malware because millions of unsuspecting people download pirated software, making it an excellent way to get inside your computer. Many open source software developers provide an MD5 cryptographic hash for their software. When you download open source software that is provided for free, you can check the download against the MD5 cryptographic hash provided by the developer. If the hash is identical, then you can be confident the program has not been altered by hackers or cybercriminals and should be safe. As an example, Apache's OpenOffice website provides instructions on how you can verify the integrity of your OpenOffice download. Where do we begin? There are a number of places we can begin to improve our security. Like I mentioned earlier, this book was written in a way to allow you to take it as a whole or pick and choose what works best for your situation. Since almost everyone who uses the internet today is doing so using a broadband connection of some sort, cable modem, digital subscriber line, satellite, WiMAX gateways, etc., along with an integrated router or a separate router, wireless or wired, we'll start with steps one could take to improve security through the equipment you use to connect to the internet. We'll look at some of the basic configurations one can make in the router, such as using network address translation, NAT, blacklisting or whitelisting media access control, MAC addresses, and/or Internet Protocol, IP addresses, changing default passwords and usernames, setting up wireless security, and using a free or for-fee service to filter malware, viruses, trojans, rootkits, adware, pornography, and any other type of user-definable content before it reaches your network. If you're not comfortable using an outside service, you can achieve some of the same results by using software designed for the same purpose. Let's get started by looking at the features of a few typical consumer modems/routers one is likely to find in a home, small school, church, community center, or even in a small business environment. This concludes Chapter 1.